Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Lane, and I am a young adult librarian at the O'Neill Library in Mountain Brook, Alabama. And we are so grateful for this evening. We received a grant from the Library of America back in April for the Lift Every Voice initiative to elevate African American voices in America's libraries. And so that's what you are about to experience. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Ashley Jones, who's an incredible poet from right here in Birmingham.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for that intro. And thank you also, Matt, for asking me to be the O'Neill Library's Lift Every Voice Scholar. I'm really excited about the opportunity to provide programming for the next few months. And this first program is so very exciting. I have to first give credit to Vinegar and Finn Kennedy and also Jamorris Rivers for the idea. I was fortunate enough to speak at Vinegar's Shape residency, where I saw Jamorris and his colleague Finn create movement based on words that I spoke, that another artist also spoke. This made me think, maybe we could do this in a reading. The Lift Every Voice program gave me the chance to try this format out with Black poets and movement artists, and that's where we find ourselves today. Black artists only tonight, because there has always been a need to affirm our place in the world and in the world of art. And we're glad to be here together in our shared Blackness and our shared power. I'm so very grateful to these artists for giving of their time and their energy. And I want to briefly introduce each of them before we begin the show. Koia Maples is a poet who I first met as a colleague at the Alabama School of Fine Arts. She is a highly decorated poet. I mean, look her up, seriously. And she's very deservingly decorated. If you do not have a copy of her full-length collection, hopefully it'll focus, Mend. If you don't have a copy of this book, you are playing yourself. Please go get a copy of that book. It's amazing. Her work does so much of what she does in life. It makes room, it sees deeply and thoughtfully, and it cradles your heart. Voice Porter is the hardest working poet in Birmingham. If you're any kind of lover of words, spoken or read, you have to know him and his particular brand of fiery, clever, and spirit-filled poetry. Voice reminds us always what it means to support other artists and to truly value the role words play in all parts of our lives. Jamal Barnes is just a force of pure and gorgeous energy. I met Germaul when he joined the dance faculty at the Alabama School of Fine Arts, and I have been entranced by his great talent and grace. He even walks down sidewalks with unmistakable glory. Jamorris Rivers is someone who I've known for much longer than he's known me, which I know sounds very creepy, so let me explain. I remember seeing Jamorris at ASFA when he worked with the dance department there, and I saw him perform with the Alabama Ballet and the Red Mountain Theater Company, all the while hoping I could one day get to know the great artist I'd seen from afar for so long. Thankfully, I got a chance to meet him earlier this summer, virtually, thanks to Vinegar, and I'm truly delighted to know that the clarity and purity of his dance is mirrored in who he is as a person. So to begin our program, each of the poets, including myself, will read a piece of their own, and we'll follow that with two pieces accompanied by movement. We hope you enjoy the program. So I will begin by reading a piece that is an ode for my mother, which seems very fitting today when we are called again to celebrate Black women and the glory that they give. Ode, my mother calls home. And is softer, sweeter than yes. Out of my mother's mouth, it's a song. How beautiful, this flavor of English, best served over the phone, best from mother, now miles and miles away from home, Greensboro and its clay, its quiet constellation of field flowers, the unrelenting glow of porch lamps, lemons filled with light. The sun is a dull bulb in comparison. Today, I wake to my mother's voice, her sister on the other side of the line. There's a comfort in knowing this language can stir the air until it feels like a mother's tongue, warm and loved enough to drop some R's.
Teeth. This poem I wrote for my daughters, Eden, Vivian, and Maya. This body housed 3 women, accommodated 3 sets of fists, 6 eyes, and 3 belly buttons. It allowed iron bones and spines to raise their way into existence. This morning, my right breast stretched from my robe, touched my infant's mouth, bobbed like branches over a water, until her sharp fish mouth closed onto it. Her lips as imperceptible as a cat's, her lips as thin. I am grateful to this constellation for healing itself again, for sealing off blood, its vessels, for scarring, to create a second row of stars to run my right fingers over, lighting them with heat as they travel across.
So sorry to jump in on your voice. You're muted. If you'll unmute and restart for us.
Thank you. This poem is an examination of lessons taught by my fathers. It's called A Father's Lament. What does it mean to be Black in America? Dwayne Benjamin told me that a white man will cut off his nose to spite his face. Ali Van told me that if I fell off a cliff and clenched onto a white man's hand, he would sever his limb to let me fall. Joe Lewis told me that if a white man stands in my way, know that a closed mouth don't get fed, but a closed fist makes declarations.
What lives in the if in Al Green's Simply Beautiful. In the room of my love, there is a whole world. There is a bass guitar that plays all by itself. There is fire in the hearth crackling, and there is a brown hue all over. That's my skin. My skin and my love are inseparable. In the room of my love, there is a growl and a giggle. There is a never-ending meal. Cornbread and collard greens and ham hocks and neck bones and sweet potato pie and mac and cheese, the good kind, not the kind at church or the kind that one aunt swears is good or the kind in a blue box. And potato salad, barbecue ribs, coleslaw, baked beans, corn on the cob, pound cake, all on the same plate, and grape Kool-Aid and spring water and broccoli and cheese casserole and fried chicken and smothered pork chops and sausage and gravy and pancakes and butter. And in the room of my love, there is a room maybe for you, but only if Al Green is playing and only if your hand is shaped, love, like a key.
This poem I wrote for the man that I love. The ritual. He really is too big for the white tub. I don't know if it's porcelain or painted metal, but he sinks into it and water rises. He has nothing to do with his legs. They must either fold over the sides or he can set his feet on the tile above the cold and hot handles. I kneel beside the tub, slip the dry pink cloth into the water. He's brought Irish Spring, a new bar, so the lettering is distinct. I wet the soap. I set the green bar in the middle of his chest, watch water swell over the soap as he breathes. I move the soap around in ovals, and trails of white bubbles appear on his skin. He looks serious, as if he's remembering being bathed as a child, a boy, his arms limp at his sides, responsible for nothing. He shuts his eyes and slides under the surface. When he comes up, I rub peach isoplus over his hair. My fingertips circle his scalp. I scrub his back with sugar. I plant seeds between his toes. His eyes are a thought. I don't get soap in them. Lean your head back, I say, or the soap. Later, he lifts his left arm. He's asking for a turn, and I soap underneath it. I don't want him out of the tub. His body is a village of bubbles, a boat of soap streaks. I rinse him, soaking the pink cloth, letting the water stream over his skin. Now he is standing, stepping into the towel I hold, and I'm saying to him the only thing I can: your hair is beautiful. Your hair is soft.
Everyday Mississippi. Looking through my mind's eye, see the ills of the world as thrills to those who breathe foul air through crooked nose. What he's going to pull next time I feel the presence, or even a small disturbance has been reported to the police on duty, calls us to wake up and take up arms and fight for what's ours, waiting in the emergency room, only to be turned away for our people. Yes, our people, to overstand that overcomplacency and overindulgence is what undermines our cause. Our children deserve the same respect as theirs and better treatment than that dog. Do you understand? The words that are coming out of my mouth is moving. But if you didn't hear me, then you must be blind. You must be blind to the fact is, if we don't pull together, they don't have to pull us apart if our soul has been deleted and we demand reciprocity for that act like there's nothing wrong before you speak out. And they'll act like you're wrong for doing it. Finally makes sense that While we fight amongst ourselves, they steal our money and elections 2 times the brain power. 2 times the hard work and perseverance just to make it in their world is spinning fast, and we must hold on lest we perish. The thought of just one of us making it, then reaching back to pull the rest of us out of this shit. I can't take this no more. You got your hands around my neck, squeezing, and I can't breathe. A sigh of relief. As Superman, try, man. Demands restitution for physical violence and lies that sodomize our mind. You now. I wasn't there, but we were all present ourselves to the wolves as sheep to be eaten, only to find that sheep also have teeth clenched, fist tight, blood boiling and racing through my being, that I am only one of many, and many are all a part of me. I can't cover my ears and be blind like you have got to be kidding me. My little brother's accused of petty theft and can't leave on $500 bond together and chant. All of us. In todo el mundo. Todo. The world overcomes by understanding that interdependency is an atrocity until we all see eye to eye, see the ills of the world as thrills to those who breathe foul air through crooked nose, that every word that just came out of my mouth is truth, and right now is the beginning. But if you didn't hear me, then you must be blind.
God made my whole body, and the way it moves, and the way it shakes and jiggles and plops. And God made my smile, and the 1,000 tears that fall from my eyes. God made the sun and the moon, and the leaf held loosely in my godson's perfect little hand. And God made the summer breeze, and the guitar Ron Isley crooned over. And God made the grass and the bugs and the dogs and the trees. And God made all of our bodies to make waste. And God made even the waste that lives in us. And God made the way the world spins, and the way it will shake us right off if we don't act right. And God made the rivers, which make it possible for us to drink. And God made the clouds, which hold the rain. And God made the birds which fly and the wolves that howl. God made the folds of my brain and the thoughts that burrow there. God made my belly, my uterus, and all the little eggs which might become children. God made the doubt that rests there, like bubbling gas. God made the silence I wrap around myself some nights alone. God made the music we sing and the music we hate. God made the ears which help us stay balanced, help us to hear what people say behind our backs and in front of them. God made sweet potato pie and aunties and mamas who know how to add just enough nutmeg. God made my whole body. And God made my grandma and her gold tooth. And God made my grandma and her curly wig. And God made my grandma I didn't know. And God made my grandpa who was a ghost, and my grandpa who was a terror. God made fear and the way it slices us up thin and flimsy. God made the way a hand quivers before it strikes. God made pain. God made the blood which runs and keeps us running. God made an everlasting red.
I've got life. What I've got is calves and heels to carry me. And this heart that only God can stop. I've got these fingers to snap in time. I've got this behind for sitting so I don't sit on my spine. I've got these shoulders only I can shrug, breasts that let down when I get the feeling, and a bird neck that carries my head and all my blood. These lips only move if I tell them to, if I want them to. There is so much my body can still do. Plus, I've got these eyes for watching you.
A poem for Indigo. For nothing more than love of my people I fight. Staying my path, honoring the ancestors, dragging the children to freedom with the passion of the Christ, because even as a child you freed my mind, and I love your imperfections. The way you colored outside the lines and never cared that your artwork didn't win any prizes. Because as an adult, your heart's work saves lives and touches souls unknown even to you. And it pleases God to see you do what you do. Because the truth isn't always what's spoken, but in the hand's work. And no matter what comes and goes, he will be edified through man's work. And you, love, you've done a lion's share. Tending the fields and feeding his sheep into your hands hurt. And what more can we ask for? From the time they leave it in the morning to after the sun cries, your knees hit the floor, and I beseech thee, take a few moments out of your time and teach these others who only pretend and fall short because their work wasn't from the heart. They were monetarily motivated from the start, and we were momentarily blinded. But from the moment I opened my eyes, there you were, right where you've always been. With me looking for the truth so hard, getting it my own way, making it hard to find it, but here you stand. And I'll believe in you from now until judgment call. And I pray that I have from now until then to figure out a title to give you, because you, love, you are so much more than a friend. And if you're with me, I'm prepared to be the same to you from now until the end, perpetually moving through life cycles until my life cycle ends. These might be my last days. This poem might be my last piece, so I've got to speak my piece, because this piece could very well be my eulogy. In the back of my mind, thoughts of you cascade down like waterfalls as water falls against glass, and drops on my lash become streams on my cheeks and puddles in my palms. For the celestial being you are, I give alms to him, and pray that I receive ilm, forthright, and on that night, become your generation's protector, and hear the voice of God saying, protect her as I protect you. Cover her like I cover you. Sanctify her in all things you do, and Wali, believe. My voice, Kanika, already told you to just breathe. So no matter how hard that gets, love, I'll never leave. And though many men may have told you this all before, but from now until the last beat of my heart, every night I'll walk through your door saying, baby, love, I'm home.
Yes. That was amazing. Hopefully y'all are clapping in your homes. Give it up another time for all these amazing performers. Here they come. Yay. That was fantastic. Matt, I don't know if you're coming on here or not, but there you go.
So we've got some time if you want to ask some questions. We are happy to answer them. God, what an amazing performance! So we can take questions in the little Facebook Live. They should show up here for us.
I'd love to ask a question. I know I'm
Yes.
on the panel, but I would love to ask the movement artists and everybody out there. I'm not saying dancers only because I don't want to limit the art of these two amazing people. So if y'all hear me saying this word, I'm not being bougie. I'm just trying to open, the space. But can y'all describe your process? Like, how do you even do reactionary movement?
Jamorris, you want to go?
Sure. I think I like to communicate with the poets, the writers, the author. I tend to really connect in that way. I just want to hear motivations. I want to hear inspirations, so that I can kind of grab a part of the author, So I tend to primarily work from that place first. And in this case, working with, hearing Ashley's work through Shape at Vinegar, it was a no-brainer. But I have to say that of all the poets, Kwoya and Voice, they're phenomenal. So, and to hear them speak at the same time just resonates. And as soon as you sort of hear the intonation and the energy that they put into their own work, it just inspires you to respond and communicate in a movement medium. So I like to connect with them first. That's how I approach it.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say thank you. That was so much fun. And as Matt said, we're going to make magic today. And, it's such a great pleasure to work with live artists, and so working with live artists that are, really connecting with their own work and expressing their own work and how they want to be read. I tend to go to the more of the cadence and try to work with the cadence and the feeling that's been resonated. And so that's how I interpret in movement, not necessarily the words itself, but the feeling that is being portrayed and given out and shared.
Thank you. Also, shout out to your costume changes, Jamal. We see you. We love it.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
They always.
Okay, so we had a question from Virginia asking, is everyone from Alabama? So you want to give a shout out to your roots?
I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, but I live in Birmingham now.
I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, born, raised, loved here, and I live in Birmingham now.
I'm from Dadeville.
Birmingham. Oh, go ahead.
I'm from Dadeville, Alabama. I've lived in Birmingham for the past 15 years.
So I am from Birmingham, Alabama as well. And I have been here off and on my whole life, a little bit of everywhere else too.
Yes. And hi, I am originally born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. And I live between, as you can see, Brooklyn, New York, and Birmingham, Alabama. So I'm the Yankee that came in to
Yeah, Germaul is definitely our long distance dedication here. So it's so lovely getting to see New York City in the background. Really, really a treat. We did have a request for some encores. Do y'all have any?
Some encores?
I know. How about that?
That's awesome.
Y'all can watch that playback.
Well, I'd like to know, like, so where can we find y'all? You wanna talk about your books, Ashley?
Yeah. Ooh, do I have them sitting here? That would be perfect if they were just right here so I could show. Oh, I bet they're in my bag. Yeah, so my books are Magic City Gospel. Where's the camera? There's the camera. It's kind of washed out, so let me pull back. Magic City Gospel is my first book, and my second book is called Dark Thing. You can buy them both at Thank You Books in Birmingham, Alabama. They have signed copies there. If you're not in Birmingham, Alabama, you can still order them from Thank You Books. They have an online store, and I have a website you can find me at. It's ashleymichelejones.wordpress.com. I know that I can buy my own domain, but I prefer to spend my money on shoes, so I have that wordpress.com. That's where you can find me.
Koia, you want to tell us about your book?
Okay. My book is called Mend, and Mend tells the story of the birth of obstetrics and gynecology in America, and historically based poetry. You can find it at Thank You Books as well, and but if by chance you don't want to go to Thank You Books, then you can also find it on Amazon and other places that books are sold. But I would recommend Thank You Books as your first stop.
Yeah, I visited Thank You Books website the other day. It is amazing. I don't know who built that website, but like it is, top notch. So, Voice, where can we hear you perform?
Well, man, you can hear me perform in all kinds of places. We do a monthly poetry event with the Birmingham Public Library System called Bards and Brews. We were once and will again be doing a poetry event with the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame as soon as the renovations are done there. And that is also a monthly event. And I travel. I travel a lot. And so, whatever city or state you might be in, if you want to hear me again, just invite me, book me.
Fantastic. Okay, so we had a couple more questions pop up. Clarence Brooks was wondering how the collaborations were born. You want to speak to that, Ashley?
Yes, but before I do, Germaul and Jamorris, where can we find you?
Oh, yeah.
If we are looking for you.
Well, you can find me on my social media platform, GEE Barnes 1, Jamal Barnes 1, or you can connect with me to my work website, which is Viewsic Dance, VIEWSIC Dance, Visual Music and Dance. So, yes.
So currently I'm teaching at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So I have occasional work there that premieres in their concert series. But you can also find me on social media as Jamorris Rivers. And from time to time, I do work with Red Mountain Theater Company. So
Fantastic work, I will add. So the question was, sorry, Matt, how did this begin? How
were the collaborations born?
Well, so I guess, first of all, Matt approached me with this amazing program, Lift Every Voice. And we were lucky enough to receive a grant to do programming. And so I started thinking about things that I wanted to do. We talked about doing a Black artist showcase, Black poetry showcase specifically. And while I was thinking that up, I spoke at the Shape residency with Voice and Jamorris, actually. And on the night that I spoke, Jamorris and his colleague Finn Kennedy, who's also an amazing movement artist, they did movement like based on what we said, and a light bulb went off as I watched that happening. And I said, why can't we just do this like always, for a reading? And then I sort of just had this like image of Black poets and Black movement artists doing things together. And I hope that it worked, and it did work. And luckily we have this digital platform that makes it possible for us to do this in different parts of the country. So we could, of course, have rooftop guru Jamal streaming in from Brooklyn, and all of us from all over the city as well.
All right, and Lori asked if the dance movements were choreographed beforehand or were they improv? And she said this was very cool, poetry and dance together.
Well, in my case, I had a kind of a set phrase, but like I said earlier, as far as what I try to interpret the feeling that's given out from the poet, almost as music. So, you know, it's kind of a jazz composition. So there is a cadence, and then I kind of riff off of that. And I'll send you a bill for that.
And Jamorris, you want to talk a little bit?
Yeah, I primarily used improv. So I just approached it listening to their voice. I mean, I knew the titles of the work. We had a rehearsal, but I didn't set any devices or any kind of choreographic sequences. I just took it off of them.
And Bill Tankersley asked, are there more events with poetry and dance coming up? Well,
Bill Tankersley, you're a plant. You know there's an event coming up. I love Bill. Bill is amazing. So yes, Bill, who I've never met before in life. This Saturday, actually, we have another event with poetry and movement. It's called 100,000 Poets for Change, Birmingham. It's our local event, which is a part of the worldwide event series. Our event is in partnership with Vinegar, and we have several local poets who will be reading work. I'm trying to remember all their names off the top of my head. Y'all don't want me to mess things up. So visit our website, MagicCityPoetryFestival.org, and you can see all of the beautiful poets. Laura Secord, who may or may not be married to Bill Tankersley, is reading on Saturday. And we'll have two movement artists to interpret the words on that day. We'll have Brianna Rhodes and Finn Kennedy, who will perform alongside the poets, similar to what we did here. And we will also be raising money at that event for Be a Blessing Birmingham. They've done really incredible work for our neighbors without homes, but also they've done a lot of great work with the protesters who've been fighting for justice in Birmingham and in surrounding cities over this summer, and looks like into the fall. So that's what's happening. And it's at 7 p.m. I don't know if I said that. 7 p.m. on Zoom.
And will you tell them again where they can find the Poets for Change information?
If you go to www.MagicCityPoetryFestival.org, you can find our event page there, and that'll take you to the registration page where you can sign up.
Okay, and I love this from Clarence Brooks. I'm wondering if the reverse could happen: dance first, and then words, spoken word, free verse. Which,
wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be really, really incredible.
Yeah,
it's happened before. It has happened before. Yeah, so yes, it's possible.
I would love to see that and not perform. I'd love to just watch that happen. Because y'all don't want me to go off the top. You really don't.
I think it would be interesting to have like that, like freestyle language, like freestyling language after dance. It could feel like it would be very like abstract and like.
Yeah. And Clarence, you know, wonderful professor at Florida State University. Clarence, I would love for you to produce that and make that happen. That would be great to be a part of that, where the dance and then go into the verse. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that comment.
Yeah, I think that'd be really, really fantastic. So Jamal, Ashley, Kwoya, I know all three of you are at the Alabama School of Fine Arts as instructors there. Do you all ever get to do any sort of collaboration like that across departments with the kids, the students there, or?
Well, I've always really been interested in collaboration. unfortunately, I'm no longer at Alabama School of Fine Arts. I now teach in the MFA program in creative writing at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
Fantastic.
But I was at ASFA for 7 years up until this fall. But yeah, so I'm always really interested in that. And I've been particularly interested in visual art and poetry, and collaborating in that way.
Yeah, I was gonna, you beat me to the punch. I was gonna say Koia has ascended to teaching in the MFA program at UA, and they are so lucky to have her. Like,
Yeah, they are.
So lucky. Anyway, I'm very proud of Koia, and I miss her at ASFA. But anyway, at ASFA, we do, as Koia said, have a lot of have some opportunity for collaboration. Jamal and I last year worked with our seniors in our respective departments to create a collaborative piece, and it was really beautiful. I think it's on YouTube, actually, on the School of Fine Arts YouTube page.
Yes.
And that was really fantastic to get to see the convergence of those two art forms last year. So I guess I've been sort of percolating on these ideas for a while.
Very cool. Okay, and Michelle posted the link to the Magic City Poetry Festival website for folks in the comments, just so you know. And Vincent Thomas said, okay, ready, set, go, try a 30-second movement and a quick poem.
All right, Vincent, I got you on that. Vincent Thomas. Yes.
Anybody feel up for it? You want to try?
I need to see the cash first.
And there it is, right there.
Amen, sister.
Oh man.
But yeah, this was such a beautiful experience. Just like it was just incredible just to be a part of, and like to be working with you all, and like voice. Like I think I met you like maybe like 14 years ago or something like that when I first moved to Birmingham. This is our first time actually collaborating, like working together and doing something specific. So that's really cool. And I love movement artists and dancers, and so this was just such a joy and a treat for me. It feels so good to my soul just to be collaborating with other like artists of color this way, especially during this time and in this moment. So I'm very thankful for this experience. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, I want to echo that. I honestly, I mean, I was already looking forward to this event. I've been looking forward to it since I asked Matt if we could do it. And I'm so glad that it has come to fruition. But today I really needed this moment of just watching Black people be alive in the most amazing, creative, beautiful way. Just to laugh with you guys and, you know, just hear everyone's spirits. That's really what I needed. And I hope the audience experienced that too. But selfishly, I'm just glad I was here to see it. And I'm so grateful to y'all for agreeing to do this with me. And yeah, I just can't wait. I can't wait until we can do this in person when it is totally safe. Nobody's trying to rush into anything at all. But when it's totally safe, I can't wait for us to do this in person. And maybe we will do that on the spot poem thing, Vincent. You know, I'm sure that by then all the honoraria would be together. And so we'll be able to get it popping.
All right. Well, I mean, I got to say, I just feel so in awe of the incredible talent of each and every one of you. I mean, it's, as somebody commented earlier, soul food. I mean, it really is like it's something that I desperately needed as well. And so thank you all for feeding us this evening with your incredible artistic talent.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's fun being here.
All right. Any other last words?
No last words, Matt. Don't say it like that. I have lots of continuing words.
Right. Yeah, until next time. So we are continuing with the Lift Every Voice grant. We'll have a program, I believe, in November, where we're going to be doing some more study stuff. But goodness, live performance is so good for the soul and so good for all of us. So look for more of this in the future. Definitely check out MagicCityPoetryFestival.org. They have incredible events all around the city, and especially in the month of April, we'll see more of that stuff. But tune in for Poets for Change on Saturday, and anything else anybody needs to say or promote?
Well, I'll just promote tomorrow night at, depending on where you are, 7 o'clock Eastern time. I will be appearing at a talk and documentary of Black dance stories on YouTube. You can go to YouTube Black Dance Stories. It'll be broadcast live. And I will be appearing with an amazing choreographer out of New York, Kylie Hamilton. So if you want to come and see another live event tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Black Dance Stories.
Awesome.
And I would like to promote the Tall Tale Telling Festival that I am a part of, that is out of Selma, Alabama. Will be happening next month. I believe the second weekend of October. The Tall Tale Telling Festival, so be on the lookout for that. And anything else, just you want to know, you can find me on social media at Voice Porter.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank y'all once again. A huge thank you for all of you, and for everybody for tuning in this evening. We love you. Come see us at the O'Neill Library. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. to the public. So you can come check out your materials or get them delivered to you curbside. We're here for you. And thank you to the Library of America for the Lift Every Voice grant. And we hope to see each and every one of you very soon.